Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to Misfits Racing League, Season 2. Give me 2 seconds here. All right. It is the Russian Grand Prix, round number 6. Joining me once again today for the commentary is my good friend, Mr. Mikcow. Mikcow, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing very, very well. Looking forward to this race. We've seen a lot of tight battles in the past few rounds, and hopefully this is no different.
Russia, a very, very interesting circuit, very high-speed circuit, if I may say. A lot of high-speed corners and turns, and I would say it's a fair circuit for overtaking as well. So I'm hoping to see some really fun action today.
Yeah, especially off the start, going into turn 2, and I think we'll see the majority of the overtaking done into a turn 2 out of that sort of chicane-like thing. I don't know what you'd really call that.
The kink. We'll call it the kink.
The kink after the right-hander, and then hopefully we see some good battles side by side through turn 3 as well.
For sure. Now, taking a look at our calendar, so like we said, this is round number 6. We've already seen these drivers through Abu Dhabi, Canada, France, Austria, and last week in Spain. And what a race it was in Spain. Sneaky getting a podium. We'll see if he can come back today and repeat some nice results for Red Bull. Of course, after today, next week, we have Brazil, Germany after that, Silverstone in Britain, and of course Monza for race number 10. Then we go over into the second half. We have Belgium, Hungary, Bahrain. I'm really excited for Bahrain. And then Baku. We're going to Azerbaijan. I'm super pumped for that race as well. Going back to Australia, we saw them in the Australia for season 1, Mexico, and then finishing things off in Suzuka. So a lot of really fun racing yet to come here for MRL season 2. Take a look at the teams now. I do believe my graphic finally sorted itself out on my OBS. So we have a good look at the driver lineup. Zamajo and Rackety driving for Ferrari. I don't know if Zamajo is going to be racing with us today. I've heard he may be absent. Skybits and Vettel over in the Haas, Falcon 9, and Hawning in Renault. Fubar and Custom Hawning, by the way, the newest addition to the grid. He's taken up a full-time seat for the rest of the season. Hopefully we see some great racing out of him. Welcome to the grid, my friend. Fubar and Custom in Mercedes, Samus and Undertaker in the Alfa Romeo, Sneaky and Jasko in Red Bull. Neon Rays and Henry in the Williams, Yoda and Jean in the McLarens. BTFU with Waitis in the Toro Rosso. BTFU, I'm told, a favorite for a podium here today. Bear Gaming, aka Little Bear, and Chupacabra take up their seats over at Racing Point. Now, let's have a quick look over at the driver's standings before we jump into the action. Zamajo, excuse me, currently running at the top of the grid with 107 points. He's really stretched out that lead over Yoda. Yoda currently sat in P2 with 55 points, only 1 point ahead of the third place driver, BTFU. Sneaky up into 4th after a great performance last week. Then we have Falcon 9 in 5th, Samus, Vettel, Henners, Chupacabra, and Undertaker rounding off the top 10. Little Bear in 11th, Skybits behind him, Neon Rays, Jasko, Custom, Rackety, Jean, Waitis, and Fubar all the way through to 19th. And then we have Hawning in 20th with 0 points as he has just joined the action. First race of the season today for him. Constructor standings. Still quite a battle going on here in the constructor standings. Ferrari out very far ahead there with 113 points. Red Bull 70, McLaren 57 in 3rd, Toro Rosso 55, very close to McLaren. Racing Point in 5th with 48 points. Renault 6th place. Haas is the 7th place runner at the moment with 42 points, very tight to the rear of Renault's 44. Alfa Romeo 8th position with 35 points. Williams in 9th with 26, and Mercedes at the back of the pack with 23 points so far here in the season. So hopefully these drivers are going to score some points today for the Mercedes squad. I do believe we are just about ready to go here, racing in Russia. Hopefully we'll get to see these drivers readying up and getting into the grid soon. As we are ready to go.
There definitely are a lot of tight battles, both in the drivers and constructors standings. You know, whenever there's such a tight field, you know, I keep saying it, you know, week after week, that one result, either outstanding or poor, for any one of these drivers can mean a lot of positions in the standings.
For sure, for sure, for sure. One thing to note real quick before we get into these races, we do have an upcoming event this weekend. It is the March Madness event on March 28th and 29th. And I highly suggest you guys check out our Discord for all of the information in regards to that tournament. There's $25 US currently the prize pool. Will go to the winner, so it's free to participate and you could win some money, so something to keep in mind as we are now jumping into the game ahead of this race.
So as we're loading in here, Striff, who do you think is who do you think are the drivers to look out for now that the all-dominant Zamajo is not appearing on the grid?
Now that Zamajo is currently absent for today's race, which is just, it's crazy because he's got such a lead in the standings right now, and this is very bad for him, right? Because we're at that early stage where he doesn't have that big of a gap where, you know, DNFs haven't played a role yet, and you're at this early stage. So I'm looking at Yoda, I'm looking at BTFU, who are the two drivers closest to him in the standings right now to really, really push and try to get the most points they can to catch up to that race, championship leader Zamajo. Another driver to look out for who we only saw one race from so far is Vettel. Vettel has great speed. We saw him in France demonstrate that in the wet, and I think he's the underdog here today, having missed out on Austria last week.
Yeah, he definitely has to make up some ground. He saw a very solid performance on his debut, as I do believe it is all dry this evening, so shouldn't see any weather play a factor in these drivers, so you should be seeing some cars out on track very shortly.
A couple of reserve drivers in the grid today. Tactical Velcro sitting in over at Racing Point. We have Astrodite sitting in the Toro Rosso, as it seems Waitis was unable to make it today for the race. Luktra sitting in over at Ferrari for Mr. Zamajo himself. Big shoes to fill.
Definitely.
I gotta say, Mikcow, I am a little disappointed. I really wanted to see some dynamic racing here in Sochi. As France, it was such a thriller with that fast change to the wet, the tire confusion. I would have really liked to see a race like Russia get spiced up with some raining conditions. Even if it was just qualifying to really shake the grid up, I would really love to see that.
Yeah, but I'm sure all these drivers are relieved that there is no rain and they can just go full, you know, full throttle, full power everywhere around this very high-speed circuit. So it looks like Mr. Falcon is the first one who's going to be setting a lap time, as he's just preparing the car, getting the tires warm, ready to start his flying lap.
On board with Falcon now. Heading down to turn 2.
Hard on the brakes.
That's
The boost, he has
invalidated.
invalidated his lap
Yeah.
already.
So I do believe Velcro next in line.
Tupaka and Velcro very close together.
Tupaka on an outlap gets out of the way there.
Yep. Going through turn 5 now. Turn 6. Braking for turn 7. This entire sector 2 is very, very flowing. However, it's so easy to track extend considering how flat the circuit is. But there's definitely something these drivers will have to watch out for. Coming down the backs, straight, not straight. Gets nice rotation out of the chicane. The first chicane of set 3 up the hill. Keeps it nice and stable. Very clean laps so far from the racing point. Let's see what the time is that the drivers will have to beat. It is a 1:33.5. And right behind him, Vettel. Gonna cross the line, goes over a second faster, 1:32.3. Undertaker sets a 1:34.4, currently in 3rd position. Rackety setting a 1:35 flat on those mediums. Henry puts himself into P2 with a 1:32.4, as Jan close behind with a 32.5.
On board now with Tupaka, looking to catch up his teammate Valkyrie, who we were on board with a few moments ago. We checked in with Samus there, see what he was doing. Fortunately, he was on an invalidated flyer. Looking forward to seeing the times from Yoda and BTFU here.
Those top 3 who have set a lap are already very, very close together as it stands. So if it stays like that, for the session,
Lutra.
we're going to see a very interesting grid as Lutra goes fastest with a 1:32 flat. But Tupaka's going to encounter some traffic. Vettel gets out of the way. Into the technical chicane of sector 3. You can easily gain or lose a lot of time through that section of track. He rounds the final corner now. Misses the apex slightly, and that's good enough for 7th. Gets a 1:33 flat. Half a second faster than his teammate, so I'm sure he'll be happy with that, but there's still time to find.
BTFU now in that Toro Rosso, favorite for podium here today, now jumping up into 2nd position with a 1:32.383. Yoda, one of the leaders of the championship so far here, currently on a flyer through Sector 3. He's approaching the last few turns here in the McLaren, setting his first time of the session.
Yeah, with Samaja gone, he's going to be looking to get the top spot, and he does. We have broken into the 131s with the 131.9 from Yoda. Of course, as the track starts to rubber in, we're going to see the grip levels start to increase, so we're going to see some faster times towards the end of the session.
Jasco, Fubar, and Custom all yet to get out there and set a lap. Fubar, think back to Austria, or was it, no, it was Spain, excuse me. Was it him that waited right until the last possible moment to set a time? I believe it was. I think he went out with like 3 minutes left.
Yeah, both him and Falcon at Spain cut it very, very close. I just want to point out that basically from 3rd to 7th is separated by 0.3. Not even.
Wow. It is going to be some tight action here. Everybody's showing very significant pace in Russia. On board with Falcon now, as he's looking to set his first lap.
Heading down the back straight into Sector 3. He sets a purple Sector 2.
Ooh, very touch and go on that curb there, as he almost cut it. Playing it very close to the chest on those curbs.
One's a little bit wide at the 3rd to last corner, but doesn't seem to have cost him too much. It's a nice exit, and he goes provisional pole with a 131.7.
So one thing to mention, I think, coming into this championship and this season, Falcon was a favorite coming into this season, and he unfortunately has had some very bad luck over the past few races. So when he drops down the standings like that, you almost forget that, you know, you have this super fast driver who's had some inconsistent races, but he came in flying with that 131.7, and I think we will see some very, very good pace from him today, given he doesn't run into any of those issues that have plagued him over the course of the earlier races this season.
It's something that he needs to watch out for. He definitely has the pace, as is evident by that lap, and also from the qualifiers pre-season.
Vettel.
But the likes of BTF and Yoda and Lutra and all, and Vettel as well, have all seemed to close the gap to Falcon for the past few races.
Vettel on a flyer now. Driving your old car.
Yes. My old car, you know. I couldn't drive, so now that's why I'm commentating.
Yeah, Mikcow retired due to lack of ability. That was it, was it?
Yeah. Just couldn't catch the Marjo, you know, so I gave up. It looks like Vettel's going to encounter Sneaky in this 3rd sector, probably the worst place to encounter it. Sneaky dives into the pits.
Very lucky for Vettel there.
Corner. And sets a 131.9.
Wow, this grid is super tight, Mick.
It is. So that time's good enough to put him in 2nd. Falcon's still sitting on provisional pole with a 131.7. Yoda only 100th and a bit behind. Then Lutra still with his 132 flat. BTF about 0.3 behind. And then this entire grid basically is very, very tight.
I am now on board here with Samus, the one of the 2 Alfa Romeos yet to set a time.
Fubar goes quickest with a 131.72.
Wow. So, like we mentioned before, Mercedes looking to get back into that constructor battle out of that 10th position in the standings. And he's coming back with a vengeance here, jumping onto provisional pole as Samus rounds the final corner.
Gets great rotation, and that's good enough for 4th for 131.918. 600th behind Vettel. And I believe that's 12 milliseconds ahead of Yoda.
Can somebody check on his stream right now? Because I gotta say, he's gotta be smiling right now after setting that time. He has been showing great speed since Austria. Of course, he had that that entanglement with Yoda in Austria. Very nice race from him in Spain. Shame about the tire choice. Unfortunately, he there was a discrepancy in the pits and they threw him onto the soft tires and it just didn't work out for him, but points nonetheless last race, and I'm glad to see him jump up into the top 10.
Yeah, Samus is one that got off to a shaky start, similar to Falcon, but he seems to, as of late, really show his hand again behind the wheel.
Undertaker
Oh my!
out of fuel at the moment. There was a big bundle of cars over here in Sector 3 now as we see Hawning flying through Sector 3 now. Looks like he's trying to set a flying lap.
Oh, it runs a bit wide. He keeps it off the wall. Oh, he's drifting. He's gone across the pit exit. The pit straight, sorry. Oh my goodness.
Very unfortunate for the Renault driver. We'll switch over to Rackety, who's on an invalidated lap right now, cutting every corner in the world. Somebody, please, give me some racing action. Who's out on a flyer that we can jump on over to?
Well, Falcon's trying to improve his time currently in Sector 1, going through the long left-hander. Entering turn 4 now. Keeps it within the boundaries. Oh, no he hasn't.
So he invalidates that. Luktra is also invalidated. I'm just going to take a quick second. Thank you to Mr. Henry and to Mr. BTFU, who are both racing in the race, for subscribing to the channel. Greatly appreciate that, gentlemen. Good luck in your race.
So after you approach the 3-minute mark, it's going to be what I like to call the calm before the storm. But my goodness, this is a really tight grid. So in this final run, if you mess up like one corner, you could easily go from like 4th to 10th. Assuming that everyone else improves on this final run. It's like Falcon's starting another lap. Samus just stays to the right-hand side. We're going through turn 3. Very hard on that front right tire. Using all of the track available. Truebar getting out of the way. The amount of curb Falcon is taking, my goodness. It's very impressive. Oh, he just keeps it in the boundaries. Through turns 8 and 9. It's a good exit down the back straight. Gonna see what his delta is when he comes to the split. He's up by 700ths.
Falcon, I'm watching your exploits. That's twice now you've gotten away with murder on those curbs, my friend. Oh, look at how tight he runs that.
Using all the track and then some. They're coming through the final 2 corners now. He was almost a 10th up at the Sector 2 split, and he goes even faster with a 131.675.
Now, if now isn't the perfect time to mention it, I don't know what is. Falcon and Fubar have gone ahead and they've called each other out as rivals, right? So this is just a battle that both of them are probably sitting in their chair going, you know, all right, I see you, you see me, we're about to do battle here. And then Luktra, currently sat in 3rd, is going to have a front row seat to all that action, and hopefully he can slip through while they're battling and maybe take a shock race leadership position. But it's anyone's race right now because, you know, you have that turn 2 dynamic here in the opening lap of the race. We could see a jumble up of the grid here, but the grid super tight.
Yeah, everyone down from 1st to 12th is within the second, more or less. Or basically a second.
Lutra currently in third, running on a flyer in that beautiful, beautiful red Ferrari. I love my Ferraris. Vettel retired from the session. He's pulled over there on that left side that we just saw. Ooh, Lutra, a little bit of a slip on the curbing there.
And Fubar has invalidated his lap. As Samus 1:31.335. That is a blistering lap.
Very, very good. As Falcon just came across in the chat saying, yay, pole position. Too late, my friend. Too late. Samus. Now he's smiling. Because I'm smiling.
That is a blistering lap. Almost 3/10 clear of Falcon. I believe Neon Rays is the only one left to finish a lap. He's going through Sector 3 now.
I think I know why Zamajo isn't here right now. He is currently... He should be. Like, I can only imagine he is. He is currently Samus's race engineer.
Neon Rays goes in 9th with the 132.1. And BTFU coming through the final 2 corners now. See what he can pull together.
7th.
He goes to 7th with a 131.9.
Now,
I believe that is everyone.
BTFU, make no mistake, guys. Although BTFU is in 7th, and although these numbers on the left side reflect a starting order, I have to say the numbers on the right side show a very different story, and that is that this grid is extremely, extremely intense, and things are about to get heated. My God.
Yeah, we've got a very, very tight grid this evening. We're in for a thriller if it remains this close. But Samus, the big boy with his first pole position, and I have to say that was a blistering lap time. I'll keep saying it because I don't know if even I could beat that.
So the grid shaping up. We have Samus on pole position for the race. Falcon very close behind him. Fubar, 3rd position. Lutra in 4th. Yoda in 5th. Vettel in the Haas making his return in 6th. BTFU, 7th position. Henry, 8th. Jean, 9th. Neon Rays rounding off the top 10. Aphrodite in 11th. Tupaka, 12th. Sneaky in 13th. Tactical Velcro, 14th. He is in Little Bear's seat today. Custom back at his seat in Mercedes is 15th. And unfortunately, I'm too slow. So now I got to read the rest of them off of the timing tower. But super exciting race ahead of us here.
Now, as we said before, it's going to be a dry race, so there shouldn't be any dramas from the skies above. But whether there's going to be dramas on track, we are yet to find out. Just waiting for the drivers to finalize their setups, get the strategies in order. Easy 1 stop here, soft 2 mediums.
How would you rank the odds? How would you rank the odds for safety car here?
Honestly, I think it's going to be fairly high. At least like a virtual. No. You don't really like lose it and only get like minor damage at this circuit because it is so high speed.
As these drivers get set off on their formation lap. Take a look at how the grid looks with all the tires. Jasko starting in 16th. I'll continue on that. Rackety in 17th, and the Ferrari Undertaker in 18th, and Honning in the Renault making his debut at the back of the grid. I'm going to choose him as my dark horse for this race because I feel like he's sitting at the back of the grid and he's got his hands together and going, all right, guys, ready? Let's go. And then he's just going to blast through the grid. I'd really like to see that. I think it would be great. Samus, very happy to see him on pole position here. And man, oh man, oh man, is he ever going to have to put it into ninth gear to keep these drivers behind him at bay, because they are hungry. They are hungry. Falcon has yet to score any major finishes this season. Fubar, same thing.
I believe he got 4th. I think his best finish is 4th at the opening round in Abu Dhabi. I think that's his best finish. I might be wrong, though.
So he wants that podium. Fubar, who was on for a podium in Abu Dhabi, also robbed of that opportunity. He is hungry as well.
Samus going very quickly on this formation lap. He just wants to go.
One
You
thing
can't
to
hold
note,
this guy back.
all drivers currently on the grid starting that race on the soft compound tire, save for Aphrodite, Chewbacca, and Sneaky. All of them going onto that longer duration medium compound tire. They are going to see a slight drop off in speed for the opening phase of the race, but they will gain momentum as those softs begin to degrade.
But the start's going to be very important, especially for Samus, because he'll be leading the train into turns 1 and 2. And like we saw last year with the 2 Ferraris, the toe off the start can be extremely powerful. So I don't know if pole position is really the best place he wants to be at the moment, but we'll find out soon enough.
Yeah, because that was Leclerc on pole, was it not?
Yes, it was.
And then Seb just went for a complete ride off that slipstream. So let's see here how things go down. Of course, turn 2. Let's see how things go.
Well, even into turn 1.
And just to jump back real quick to your comment about the train, Samus has seemed to have made a habit lately of leading trains. We'll just have to wait and see who our dear and departed caboose will be.
All right, so 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and away we go. It looks like a pretty clean start from all the grid. Actually, Falcon gets a flyer of a start, puts himself up into the first. Fubar and Samus side by side. It looks like Lutra's going to try and make it 3 wide. It's going to be 3 wide for the second, third, and fourth into turn 2.
Lutra with a big cut going wide there, trying to avoid any possible damage. It looks like all of these drivers relatively clean getting out of turn 2 as we come around that semicircle long left-hander.
Lots and lots of position changes, and all the drivers abusing the track as much as they can. Putting it right up next to the walls. Oh, Henry and Luke side
Sneaky. Sneaky goes way wide. He comes back on the circuit there. He smashes into the right side of the Renault that is Hawning. Very interested to see what the stewards are going to have to say about that post-race. As we make our way back down the grid through to the front, everybody looking relatively clean, breaking away. Gaps are starting to form here. Lutra has dropped back into 5th, and you can see BTFU very hungry for a podium here today, has slipped up into 4th position. He started in 7th.
Well, Neon Rays and Tattoo Velcro side by side into Sector 3. Who's going to come out? It looks like Velcro has got him back. There's a lot of wheel-to-wheel action on this opening lap. Looks like Custom is losing positions as well. We have a yellow flag, Sector 3. It looks like Yoda, and there's a big pile up.
Yoda has no front wing right now as he goes into the pits.
Virtual safety car. And it looks like Sneaky and Yoda having a massive incident. So we have 4 cars into the pits on this opening lap.
Yoda not going to be happy about that, as Zamajo is missing. He is currently the driver on the grid with the most points, and he stands the biggest opportunity to benefit from Zamajo's absence today. So not having the race he wants to have. As we're under VSC conditions here, we see Falcon and Samus have swapped positions. Both cars looking relatively clean though, so no foul play suspected there. Samus though.
And BTF, sorry to cut you off, but BTF has made his way up to 4th from 7th, I believe. He qualified on that opening lap, so...
I mentioned that previously, as I saw Lutra. When I saw Lutra in 5th, I said, BTFU slipped through. Henry is 6th at the moment. Jean in 8th, Vettel in 7th. Velcro and Neon Rays racing here still.
They are wheel to wheel at the moment. Oh, looks like he's got just ahead as the racing point, but the Williams is coming back at him. He's going to back out of that for now. It's a long race.
Just a huge train here coming through sector 3. Oh, and there's Custom. Big slip at the rear there for the Mercedes. Fortunately, he got it under control without suffering any major time loss. Jasko making a move up the inside.
Oh, it's still side by side. Custom has his nose ahead. He's going to try and hold around the outside. There's contact.
Very tight there.
Any damage? So as we start lap 3 of this race, DRS is now enabled. And look at Samus. He is side by side with Falcon through turn 3.
On board with Fubar now, watching the action from the rear. Falcon out in front, Samus. Decent exit here through turn 4. Up through turn 5.
Fighting is allowing BTFU to join the fray, and Lutra not too far behind.
As we have some
three-way battle for 6th place as well.
Rackety and Jasko swapping positions there. Switch back over to there. Jasko flying behind the rear of that Mercedes Custom right now. Rackety and the Ferrari looking to show that absolute power through this Russian circuit.
I saw Lutra picked up the 3-second time penalty. Yep. He did, so that's not going to help his cause up there at the front.
On and currently driving without a front left end plate on that Renault, still trying to volley for track position here as he's only within 2 seconds of 14th position as Custom, Rackety, and Jasko just continue to battle it out here for the battle for 12th position. Custom losing out on that one though.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but Samus has overtake, ERS engaged, DRS open. He's looking to make a move on Falcon around the outside on the main DRS straight, and he will retake the lead of this race.
Very, very nice driving from Samus there as we enter through the long left-hander. Falcon looking to get some momentum, possibly make a switch back here.
Fubar's got the run on him. Yeah, side by side into turn 4. It gets pushed a bit wide.
Very, very close and tight racing there. Fortunately, no incidents. Their wheels did touch.
Fubar runs wide.
On board with BTFU, watching this unfold. Samus has been able to break away as a result of the Fubar and Falcon battle going on. BTFU very close there. Safety car.
We have a safety car. I'm not sure what that is for.
I saw BTFU slightly tap the rear of Fubar driving through that sector there. I don't know if that would be enough to...
Falcon has a drive-through penalty.
Oh my God.
Is speeding under safety car.
Falcon, like we mentioned before, having some very, very tough luck here through the opening phase of this season. And that drive-through penalty is not going to help him one bit.
Now, it's going to be interesting if we see these drivers pit for hards under the safety car, because the hards can make it to the end, but they are a fair bit slower than the mediums.
Now, I do want to say one thing. If Falcon is joining us in stream.
Fubar is blinking first. He's going to pull into the pits. So will Lutra as well.
Now, a quick message to Falcon, because this could be very crucial to him. Well, am I allowed to do that? Am I allowed to give him am I allowed to give him help? You have to wait until the race goes green in order to pit.
Can't serve a drive-through under safety car.
Yeah, that's all we can say. You got to wait until the track goes green in order to serve a drive-through penalty.
So from these pits, looks like Fubar, Lutra, Henry, and Rackety opting for the hards. So they're looking to definitely go to the end. Velcro going on the yellow stripe mediums, as well as Jasko and Custom.
One thing to note there, I saw Falcon very, very close to the rear of Samus here. Guys, you need to back up. I know you need to, stay in the queue, but you need to back up here. Give the driver ahead of you some space, because all too often we see very, very stupid mistakes being made on the circuit under safety car conditions. Don't exceed the track limits. Don't cut the corners. Try to keep it nice and clean, because makes for much better racing for everyone.
Yeah, I think Samus is just glad he got the move done when he did, because now he'll be leading off this safety car restart.
Yeah,
And with
always a
Falcon
good
with his
position to be
driving
in.
penalty, Fubar has emerged in 8th on those hard tires, just coming up to the back of Aphrodite now. But my goodness, it's been 5 laps and we've already had so much action, both at the front, in the middle, and at the rear.
It definitely has not been even remotely disappointing, and of course the safety car just to spice things up, to do it all over again here, as we have a few of these drivers all on the hards now. Fubar, Lutra, Henry, Rackety, all on the hard compound tires, fresh hard compound tires. Sneaky and Yoda having to pit early for whatever reason,
Yeah,
due to
but Sneaky
contact
Yoda
or
had like
whatnot.
a massive collision at turn, I think it's 15, 16. And yeah, so they are looking to go long on those hards. Probably do the entire race on those, to be honest. Safety car definitely helping their case. As Velcro get the 10-second time penalty for exceeding track limits.
Yeah, guys, very important. Ooh, Henry has just taken a 5-second penalty for tapping Jasko.
And an end plate to go with it. He's missing his right end plate.
Oh, he is not going to be impressed. I know all too well how he is currently reacting to that situation. Gives myself a slight chuckle to think about that.
Yeah, you also know how Falcon's feeling as well.
Yes, I do.
You have first-hand experience with that.
Firsthand, and it's still fresh. It's still fresh.
Yeah, we should see the safety car come in this lap, and then we will be good to go racing. So currently your top 3, Samus in the lead, Falcon in second, but he does have to serve a drive-through penalty once the safety car comes in. BTFU currently 3rd, Vettel 4th, Jean makes his way into 5th, Neon Rays 6th, Aphrodite 7th, Fubar 8th, Lucha 9th, and Velcro in 10th.
As BTFU has overtaken Falcon by accident through the safety car restart here. Real fast here, do you recall off the top of your head what the pole position time was? As we have somebody in the chat asking.
It was a 31.3 by Samus, who is currently leading this race.
So 1:31.3 was the pole position time.
Samus rounds the final corner, a little bit slidey. Those tires are a bit cold, but it looks like we are racing. It looks like Vettel has dropped back a bit off the restart along with Jean, and there's a bit of a gap to Neon Rays.
We have a small
Aphrodite
few
going
pairs
very, very
forming.
close to that wall. Going side by side with the Williams. Oh, he tries to hold it outside. There's a bit of contact.
Tiny tap there, nothing major doing though. Very fortunate that the Williams was able to get out of that there, as everybody is just fighting for position here through the safety car restart.
There haven't been many overtakes. Look at Rackety and Custom going side by side, and Yoda has been caught in an incident again. Looks like with Sneaky again as well. Those two are going to be having some beef after the race, I'm sure.
I'm sure we'll have an exchange of some kind. Sneaky has now retired his car out of the session.
Drove it straight in the wall. Let's see if that brings out anything. Hopefully not. Looks like Tactical Velcro also going down a load of positions right now, all the way back in 17th now.
Tupaka and Jasko wheel to wheel now through sector 3. That's the, oh, and there's
And we have another
Jasko.
safety car.
There's
We have
Jasko,
another
big
safety
spin there.
car.
Undertaker also getting caught up in that. Very
We
unfortunate.
see them pit. Samus opts to stay out. Looks like Falcon. Oh no. Falcon has a.
Oh my God, Falcon
I
and
think-
BTFU and Samus have just
I think
gotten some rotten luck.
I don't know about that. But I think it's Fubar who has really benefited from this because he's now in 3rd and doesn't have to make another pit stop. So I don't even think we had a full lap of green running.
This is definitely interesting. I will say that. BTFU in a very good race position right now on those softs. Curious to see what him and the Alfa Romeo of Samus decide to do here on those tires, as they're the only 2 runners remaining on the softs, and Hawning with a 5-second penalty for a severe collision.
Come on, guys. Just relax. It's a safety car. Alright, there's no rush. That's kind of the point of the safety car. Not to rush. Yeah,
So
interesting
19
that,
drivers here. Sneaky. The only one yet to retire from the race. So, I mean, so far we've had some fairly clean racing. I still don't really know what caused the first safety car, to tell you the truth.
I don't know if this one was for the spin in Sector 3 or for Sneaky binning it in the wall.
No, I think the decision for a safety car may have come a little late for it to have been Sneaky, but nonetheless, we don't want to see drivers torpedoing any walls.
Yeah, will definitely be looked at after the race, I'm sure. But I'm really curious to know whether Samus was past the pit lane or not when the safety car was deployed. Or how those tires are feeling, because at 7 laps old, they won't be at their best. And both him and BTF will have to make another stop and try and create a gap any way they can, as Tactical Valkyrie gets another 5 seconds for exceeding track limits again after safety car. On safety car, sorry.
Jasko into the pits now. He was involved in that incident causing the safety car earlier on. I do believe if the incident I witnessed was the cause, then he was most definitely involved there. Undertaker F in the Alpha as well. Looks like Jasko making the wrong call here to wait a moment to get into the pits onto those mediums.
And Velcro with another 10 seconds.
Oh, and there goes Samus. Samus and BTFU having an issue here, as BTFU and Samus have both taken penalties. Or was it BTFU the only one to gain a penalty? Now BTFU, as he went off crack, he has to give his position back to. See, now BTFU here, for those of you that don't know, as a result of him going off of track and Fubar having come ahead of him in that moment, Fubar effectively takes that second position away from him. So BTFU there having to relinquish that second place grid position. Now sat in 3rd.
Yeah, with wing damage and needs to pit for tires.
With a 5-second penalty for hitting Samus. Not too sure what happened there. We'll have to have a look after the race. However, the reserve of Astrodite. Well, safety car in this lap, so the chance to pit and come out relatively close to the grid has now come and gone, as Samus is beginning to back up the grid here ahead of the restart. Hawning taking a penalty for hitting Custom, I do believe.
Yeah, we're going to see how much life there is left in these soft tires. As Samus determines the pace, and when we go racing, just keeps backing up the field, waiting to go. Looks like BTF's going to dive into the pits, and Samus has pulled the trigger. We are racing once again in Russia. And it looks like Fubar's going to make it too wide into turn 1. Samus leaves room. Aphrodite currently in 3rd, Lutra in 4th, Custom 5th, Rackety making the overtake on Honing. And Aphrodite going into the through the escape road. It looks like Fubar still side by side with Samus as they enter into turn 4. He has the apex, a bit of a slide on those hard tires.
Custom and Lutra battling behind here. The Mercedes are volleying for serious position in this race right now.
Most definitely.
Unfortunately, Fubar is being plagued by the rev glitch at the moment, so on board with him right now is a bit of a pain. So try to watch the action unfold as we can.
Custom has made his way up to 3rd.
He is having quite the drive in that Mercedes today. He is hungry for some points, as we touched on earlier. Lutra looking for a good result in the Ferrari behind him on the hard compound tire. So he is not going to have as much pace as Custom just by tire choice. But at some point in the future, those tires will come to an equalization. And one will be better than the other.
3. It looks like Vettel's going to get better of that. As does Jean. And he might lose the race to Parker as well.
Honing. Ooh! Going over the bollard there. Having to go into the pits in that Renault. Everyone going to move up a place now as Jean is absolutely gaining on the rear of that Haas. Now, if you're Yoda right now, you have to be happy because he has now launched his way up from the back of the grid all the way up into 7th position here. He is on the hard compound tires.
Fighting. He's going to get past Aphrodite. Can he get past Rackety as well? He's trying to look around the outside. They're still side by side.
What a battle here as Vettel, Aphrodite.
And Aphrodite cedes the position. So Yoda's up to 6th.
And he's not done. He's not done yet. Rackety, his next target, as he is squeezing every possible little horsepower out of that car to catch up to the Ferrari. Currently running in 5th. Now, one thing to note here, Yoda's tires, 9 laps old. Rackety, only 6 laps old on his tires. Aphrodite on the mediums.
Henry getting a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings.
Now, as we move into this next lap, I do believe we will have DRS, or are we still 1 lap away from that?
I think we've still got another lap to go.
Because we have really yet to see DRS play any role in this campaign thus far, and that's going to definitely be a significant impact on how these drivers move through the grid.
Oh, I was wrong. DRS is enabled.
Okay, so we have DRS. Lutra is going to have DRS right now on Custom, and Fubar is already charging hard at the race leader. That is Samus in the Alfa Romeo ahead. He has the DRS coming down into turn 2 now. Samus
gets a 3-second time penalty.
Not going to be happy about that.
Meanwhile, just behind them, Lutra chasing Custom, still holding that 3rd position. Rackety about 2 seconds behind them, 2 or 3 seconds behind them, sorry, in 5th. And then he is leading the train.
Yoda prepping for a charge here on the Ferrari driver. I can only imagine when we get to Sector 2, as well as Lutra. Very, very close to the rear of the Mercedes Custom right now, moving through into Sector 2. DRS detection zone has been passed. You're going to see now on board with Lutra, he is going to have that DRS in 30 meters.
There's a racing point. That's Tupaca. Tupaca spun in Sector 2. Goes all the way back to 15th.
Lutra moving down the inside of Custom. Very, very careful through this turn here. Custom drops back into 4th position, and that is the move done by Luktra for the time being. Samus able to hold off Fubar in that battle for the race lead.
Samus still opting to stay out just a bit longer on those softs.
So Tupaka now taking a 3-second time penalty. As you mentioned, he had a spin and collision earlier, or some kind of accident. He's missing a very large chunk of that front left wing. More than likely going into the pits, and he does.
Now Yoda, right on the back of Aphrodite, is gonna go make it side by side down the main straight.
Yoda and Aphrodite battling. Aphrodite very late on the braking there, and Yoda very cleanly but tightly through into P6 there, through that turn there as Aphrodite went wide. Yoda looking to catch back up to that. Rockety Raccoon in 5th. Rackety and Yoda, they think, well, Yoda thinks that Rackety, well, anyway, they think they're faster than one another, and right now they're on the track, and they are going to prove that and do the talking on the circuit. Aphrodite in the Toro Rosso is going to try and break up that party, though, as he's staying quite close to the rear of Yoda.
Sorry to cut you off, but Fubar is making a move on Samus with that DRS.
Going round the outside.
Like he has made a pass for the lead.
Wow, very clean move ahead there of the race leader, or former race leader, Samus. That DRS so strong through Sector 2. As we move into Sector 3 now, those soft tires definitely going to be playing a role in traction through some of these turns. And that's Samus heading into the pits now. Luktra is going to move up into 2nd position in that Ferrari.
Now, Striff, I know you like your train analogies. Looks like we've got the Rackety train starting up. Look at that. There is so many cars.
Very unfortunate position drop for Samus as a result of that DRS train, though, as he is going to come out somewhere between Falcon and Undertaker, I believe.
Well, Falcon gets past him. Undertaker's pitting, so he'll emerge in 14th. So that promotes Custom to a podium place.
The Mercedes driver is going to be happy about their current position. Custom on the 9-lap-old mediums, though, they will begin to play a role later on in this race. Fubar and Luktra on the more, I'd say, the better tire at the moment, those hard compound tires, as we've had 2 safety cars here throughout the race. They've definitely moved up into some solid positions. BTFU, unfortunately, has dropped back all the way into 15th behind Samus, the former race leader. Yoda with the DRS, he is going to make a move on Rackety here. He's coming down the inside and fast as he edges ahead of the Ferrari driver. He makes the move, gets things done. Rackety
for the switchback.
Definitely looking for a position switchback here, as we will see if he can keep up with Yoda enough to make a charge back down the pit straight.
So Yoda wanting to lead the train now, and his teammate Jean is the caboose.
Aphrodite is very close in on this action as well, as you can see here on board with him now. Both him and Rackety are going to have DRS on the McLaren driver, and it is going to play a massive role here. As you can see, Rackety absolutely gaining, and Aphrodite sticking to him. Aphrodite has a look. Rackety says, no way, Jose. He's going to stick it behind the rear of that McLaren, and Yoda is comfortably leading this train at the moment. Vettel in the Haas on the hard compound tires, catching up to the Toro Rosso as well as Aphrodite. Fortunately, in that DRS train, able to save on the tire degradation just a little bit. Undertaker taking an unfortunate 3-second time penalty after multiple warnings.
Yeah, don't count Henry, Neon, and Jasko, and Jean out of this either. Looks like Aphrodite runs a bit wide from the double left. Ooh, gives him another opportunity as Henry gets another 3-second time penalty.
Vettel is now in a position behind Aphrodite where he doesn't want to let that Toro Rosso breathe. He has that DRS. He is in the 8th gear. He makes a move
He
down
goes
the
for
inside.
dive.
Wow, look at what Aphrodite. He made that move to try and close the door. He saw Vettel coming. He came back onto the outside. Very, very good track awareness from the Toro Rosso driver there. Seeing that move happening live before his eyes. The Haas Vettel making a very slick move up the inside into 6th position. Very tight
Well,
and hard
behind them,
racing.
The two Williams are racing of their own. Oh, Henry pushed a bit wide by Jasko. All very, very close. It looks like Aphrodite doesn't have DRS.
I have to say, these Red Bull sponsored cars and these Williams have been fighting so consistently lately. Neon Rays, smooth operator up into 7th now. Aphrodite, very close on the rear of him, getting ever so close to the rear of that Williams as he slips the rear a little bit. Jasko along the inside of that Toro Rosso, just slipping through into 8th position. Aphrodite dropping back. Samus taking a 3-second time penalty after multiple warnings. I do believe that is now 6 seconds accumulated here as we see Henry go wide through sector 1. Or sorry, sector 2.
Yeah, we've still got a very, very tight train here, but it looks like Yoda and Rackety have sort of pulled away a little bit. They've definitely broken the DRS.
Yoda just towing along that Ferrari at the moment, just can't shake him. Rackety being quite the pest at the moment for that McLaren driver.
Neon Ray's also very, very close to the back of the Haas. What great racing that we've seen so far.
It has been very tight.
Oh, Aphrodite losing the bit of the rear a little bit, coming out of the chicane. Henry's late on the brakes. They're so close to the back of the Toro Rosso.
Oh, big lock up there from the back right of the Toro Rosso. You see a very good exit here compared to that Toro Rosso from the Williams. That's going to be Henry easily up into 9th position. They're both going to have DRS. It's an absolute drag race right now. Aphrodite jumps into the slipstream. He's down the inside. Ooh, very, very late on the brakes. A little bit of a lock up there. Williams of Henry gets pushed wide, but he jumps back out in front. Look at these drivers, wheel to wheel.
Around the outside, can he make it stick? And oh, he hasn't yet. Henry fights back. They're still side by side, and John is right behind them. There's a bit of contact, and Henry gets the move done.
This is unbelievable racing here between the Toro Rosso and Williams. Here in the battle for P9.
Oh, Vettel spun. Vettel's been spun around in sector 2.
Vettel doing a very good job of spinning that car around. Very, very close between the drivers of Tactical Velcro and Falcon as they were literally racing through that yellow sector, volleying for position here. Vettel very luckily not getting damaged, and even more lucky so for Tactical Velcro and Falcon as they were the fast movers through that section. Jean getting the move done here on Aphrodite, has moved up into P9. Aphrodite definitely feeling the tire degradation. 16 laps now he has been running on those medium tires. Jean pretty well half of that time on his tires.
Just jumping on back to this rivalry at the front. Rackety saving some ERS, but he's still sticking with Yoda. These two are currently the closest on track at the moment.
Now, I will say one thing from my experience with Rackety and Yoda. When these guys get wheel locked or they get into wheel-to-wheel action, you have to keep your eyes peeled because it's anyone's game. Both these drivers, when they get next to one another, they get their elbows out. As we see Rackety lose some time to the McLaren driver there. He goes wide. Neon Rays is going to catch him up a little bit in the Williams. Jasko is trying to get back into the DRS zone of that guy as well. Henry looking to make up some more positions. And he has Jean to worry about in that McLaren as he is going to have the DRS over the Williams driver here. We'll see if Jean can make up a nice amount of time here.
Oh, he's a bit far back. I don't think he can make it on this straight.
definitely shrinking the gap though with that DRS. It is so powerful. I don't believe Henry had it on the driver in front of him. So Henry definitely going to be the prey for Mr. Jean in the McLaren.
Meanwhile, Rackety, we saw him have a little bit of a slip up in sector 2, but the DRS is on all the way back up. Still has that DRS on Yoda. He's a bit far, but with the ERS and the DRS and slipstream, is it going to be enough? He's gaining so rapidly on the McLaren, but it's not enough. I have to sit behind for another lap. Meanwhile, Falcon as well, getting past Aphrodite for P10 into turn 2. Very nice.
Aphrodite most definitely going to be feeling the tire wear on those mediums right about now. What would you say those tires are at 18 laps old here in Russia?
Probably 60, 50, 60%.
50,
High
60.
50s probably.
Yeah, so a lot of speed has definitely scrubbed off those mediums for the Toro Rosso driver. Tactical Velcro currently 2.5 seconds away from P11 in that racing point right now. So we'll have to take a look-see later on at how much, oh, never mind. I thought I saw a driver off there on stream for a moment, but my eyes deceived me. But definitely going to have to look at that gap between Velcro and Astrolite as Velcro's on those 11-lap-old hards.
Well, Aphrodite still has to pit.
Yeah, so Falcon in P10, looking to catch up on some race positions here. He did start this race on the front row alongside the current 13th running driver, Mr. Samus.
Yeah, the two guys starting from the front row not having a great race as of yet, as Rackety gets a 3-second time penalty for cutting the last corner. That's going to hurt. But he's close enough to Yoda this time. I think with the DRS, he's put it down to none, so he opts to save. Asteroid finally pits. And Falcon still making up positions, now into P9. Gets past the McLaren of Jean into turn 2.
I don't think Jean's going to let that go too easily here. Tactical Velcro and Samus right now, currently at the moment. Looks like Falcon has made a significant leap ahead of the McLaren Jean. Samus right now very tight to the rear of the Racing Point Velcro.
I'm just keeping an eye on this fight for fourth, because Neon Race has joined the party now in the DRS of Rackety, so... And on those fresher mediums, he's going to have a fair bit of pace.
Making a move around the outside now, going down into Sector 3. Gets clear out in front of that Racing Point with that DRS. Very nice move done from him. Hopefully he's able to maintain that. Continue to charge on and move back up the grid. Jumping on over to Neon Rays now. On board with him, as he is going to have DRS on the Ferrari driver.
Rackety having DRS on Yoda as well.
Neon Rays very, very careful not to cut that corner, as we saw a little bit of a wheel twist from him.
Meanwhile, on the other Ferrari, Luketra right on the back of Fubar. So he's made up the gap. Definitely showing he's had some pace. And we'll probably be trying to make a move for the lead very, very soon. Puts the ERS up to overtake. Staying in that slipstream. Backs off. We'll find another corner to make the move. Oh, Falcon, side by side with Henry, going into turn 13. Ooh, There's no contact, but Falcon losing the rear slightly. He's looking for the switchback. Henry defending slightly. Leaves him room. Going for another switchback. Henry loses the rear slightly.
Ooh,
And Falcon
very
is
clean exit
through.
there from the Renault driver, Falcon.
But Henry will have DRS on this next straight.
Neon Ray is going to have DRS on the Ferrari right here as well. He is catching, but Yoda doing a very good job, or poor job, I should say, of keeping that Ferrari in his DRS zone. So Rackety, fortunately, able to stay super close to that.
Henry and Falcon side by side through turn 3. Sashra sets the new fastest lap with a 1:34.7. Oh, Falcon just holds on to that position. Very good defensive driving from the Renault.
And one thing to keep in mind throughout this race, all of these drivers have been scoring penalties. And all of these penalties are going to come into play at the end of the race as we have 6 laps remaining here.
I'm just checking the situation at the front. Lutra has 2 penalties. Custom has 1. Fubar has 1. I believe that is it for the top 4.
Vettel now making a move for 12th position. He's coming around the outside of Velcro here in the racing point. Gets very clean out in front. Ooh, very late on the brakes there from Velcro. Almost tapping the rear of Vettel. But Vettel getting that move done now. He'll be looking to catch up to the Alfa Romeo of Samus. Samus not going to be impressed with his current position.
Henry gets another 3-second time penalty. Well, up the front, looks like Fubar has broken the DRS. Thanks to Undertaker. Undertaker somewhat holding up Lutra.
Neon Rays still very close to the rear of Rackety, as these drivers all keeping it very clean here as they've been battling for a very large portion of this race.
Well, looking at the bigger picture, they're all 3 of them are getting closer to Custom. The gap between Yoda and Custom now just over 1 second. And he will start to be struggling on those mediums.
Yoda's just hard charging this train, looking for a podium, gaining on the Mercedes of Custom.
Yeah, but he's got 2 angry cars behind him. Looking to try and make some crucial positions.
Vettel and Velcro continuously battling down the grid here. They're wheel to wheel now. Ooh, very close racing from these two as Tactical Velcro coming around the outside, looking to make a switchback. Oh, around the inside now. Vettel, very good exit there. Very good job from both of these drivers to keep things clean. Velcro moving up in front of the Haas driver now. Vettel losing a little bit of time. They're both on equal life hard compound tires. Vettel going to have the DRS here, as Neon Rays and Rackety still super close to Yoda. Yoda getting closer to Custom now. It's Vettel moving up the inside now with the DRS. He does not get the move done as Velcro shuts the door. We're going to jump on with Neon Rays now. Still watching all of this action unfold in front of him as Yoda now has caught up to the rear of the Mercedes Custom. He will have the DRS moving through Sector 2 here, and he has caught him up quite a bit. We'll see if he's got an opportunity to make a run at the Mercedes here for that podium position.
You just have to worry about penalties as well. You know, with 3.5 laps left to go, could definitely come into play in the closing stages of this race.
Oh, Custom, big slide there from the Mercedes. He definitely lost time there. Round the outside of the McLaren now. We'll see if he's able to make a move back. Yoda, a little bit slow up through the hill there. But he's getting a great exit out of this turn, but Custom just gets a better shot out of that turn now, moving through. He's still up into third position. Yoda thinking better of it. He's going to go and wait for the DRS now. And Rackety is on board for all of this. Neon Ray's behind him. So the train's coming, Custom. And you got to do everything you can to stop it because they have the momentum. Yoda now, round the outside, Custom.
Oh, Custom
moving
late
up
on the
the
brakes.
inside. Oh my God, this is great racing. Holy cow, Rackety is right there with them.
With 3 laps to go, Custom on those very, very worn mediums. Yoda on very worn hards.
Look at this train. Holy cow, look at what we're witnessing here on the 25th lap here. It is MRL Season 2, round number 6, the Russian Grand Prix. Yoda so far out in front of Custom now. He's just getting so much speed, having broken away. Custom under serious threat here. Big slide from Neon Rays, does a great job of getting it under control here.
And Falcon's in. Falcon's in on the party as well for the last 2 laps.
Wow. What a great race we're having here, and things are shaping up for an epic finale as all of these drivers are within striking distance of the podium. DRS playing a significant role.
At the front, 2 tenths, Lutra and Fubar. So we are going to have battles all over the place as Neon Rays has lost position to Falcon. So Falcon up at 6th.
Falcon showing a very good pace here. As one thing to mention is that him and Neon Rays both on the same tire life, compound tires at the moment. So Neon Rays not showing just as much pace as Falcon has had to fight from quite a significant position in the back of the grid, all the way to the front here to regain that position where he started. He did start on the front row of this race. We are now on the penultimate lap here, lap 26 out of 27. Falcon getting very close to the rear of this Ferrari, not having any of that DRS toe shenanigans. Rackety gaining on the Mercedes of Custom. And we have had a host drop here. So I'm not too sure what that is going to mean.
Something must have happened with Sneaky, but Lutra still sticking to the back of Fubar. Seems to have lost a bit of time. Opening up the DRS. As the host migration has been successful. Fubar defending very, very hard. Into Sector 3. Looks like Rackety is going to get past Custom, but he runs deep. Custom getting the switchback. Rackety getting the inside for the next corner. BTF getting another 3-second time penalty. Oh, Custom and Rackety still side by side, and Falcon is making it 3-1. And there's contact, massive crash.
Oh, and that is Custom into Neon Rays. Neon Rays into the side of the wall there. He has suffered some front right end plate wing damage there as a result of Custom spinning and hitting him while he was just doing everything he could to get away. Jasko wheel to wheel with Rackety. Rackety has a missing front end plate as well now. That Red Bull is going to have so much speed on that Ferrari. Lutra is trying to do everything he can to catch up to this Mercedes Fubar here on the final lap of the race. One thing to keep in mind, penalties are going to play a role here. Just what that role is, we will find out in around 1 minute time. Jasko. My intervals are a little gummed up right now as it's showing Jasko very close to Falcon. As Fubar and Lutra had a bit of a ghosting there.
So this is his last opportunity, Lutra. He has to give it everything he has. Astrodite getting another 3-second time penalty. Oh, he's close enough. He might go for it. He's going to look. He goes to the inside for turn 13. Cuts the corner slightly. Fubar holding it around the inside. There's a bit of wheel banging. But Lutra has gotten past. Now, I don't know about penalties, but he has gotten past on track.
Now, did Lutra just acquire that front left end plate? Like, I don't know if he's been racing with that gone the entire race. But Luktra crosses the line first after penalties. He drops back into fourth. Yoda with the official race win here in Russia. Fubar finishes in second position, both on track and on the timing tower. Falcon takes third position. Luktra, unfortunately, dropping back into fourth. Jasko crosses the line fifth. Twitch.tv, Samus2177 comes in sixth position in the Alpha. Very unfortunate for him that I just think he missed the opportunity to pit, really. But he was on for a great finish here, and still getting a great haul of points is Samus. Neon Rays 7th, Rackety 8th, Henry in 9th. So double point scoring for the Williams drivers, as you can see, both of them on track there. Vettel coming home with the last remaining point on the grid. John in 11th position. BTFU not having the race he wanted, of course. He finishes 12th. Astrodate, his teammate, in 13th. So it's Toro Rosso out of the points. Tactical Velcro in 14th. Custom 15th here, as he has retired his car. So I'm not too sure if we're going to see Honning and Undertaker jump ahead. Fastest lap of the race was scored by Astrodite in that Toro Rosso. So although they didn't finish in the points, Toro Rosso is going to score 1 point today for the Constructors' Championship.
They won't. It's only for the top 10.
Is it only for the top 10, the fastest lap? Okay. So, unfortunately for Toro Rosso then.
But Yoda taking the win in Russia, making him, I believe, the fourth different winner in MRL thus far. So, and he was like last on lap 1. He was last, pitted for those hards. Those hards did the entire race, and he kept his nose clean after that. Didn't get penalties, and it gave him the win.
I would definitely call that a superlative drive from Yoda in the McLaren. As you said, he was, he started 5th on this grid, and he had some unfortunate early race contact multiple times. And we saw him at the back of the grid at one point. And fortunately for him, safety car came out. I think he got a very good advantage from that safety car. And next thing we knew, he was in 7th position. And he was just charging through the pack there. So it's really good to see him fight from the back all the way to the front and take a race win. And I'm sure he is going to be extremely proud of that race win. What an effort from him. Only the 1 3-second penalty. As we look at all of these penalties here, the official grid, we did say Custom get passed by Undertaker and Honning, so Custom officially finishes 17th here in this race. 15th for Honning, 16th for Undertaker, F2 Paka, Sneaky, and Custom all DNFing, and Ruben with a DNS on this rate. Unfortunately, I do think bugs with the game played a role there. Take a look at the incidents real fast. We'll just scroll down. A couple of severe collision penalties that we saw over the course of some safety cars. Other than that, relatively clean as far as collisions go. Nothing too major impacting the race. All of these severe collisions you're seeing did happen during safety car conditions. So nothing major going on there. Yes, they did impact the race, and that is just a testament to the fact that you guys need to slow down during the safety car. But it was, of course, a very, very fun race to commentate. Mikcow, as always, thank you for commentating with me. Everybody, I'm sure, is going to be looking back on this race saying, wow, that was a really good one. So, of course, if you guys want to watch the action from start to finish in its entirety as all of it unfolded, be sure to check out our YouTube channel as we post all of our race VODs there. Again, if you are new to the Misfits Racing League, be sure to smash that follow button. We are live every Thursday for league racing action. This weekend, March 28th and 29th at 5 o'clock CST, Saturday and Sunday, we have an event. It is, of course, the March Madness event. I'll get you guys a graphic for that really fast in just a moment. Jump on over to the standings for just a second. But yes, we do have a March Madness event this weekend. It is going to be a lot of fun. It is it's a unique format. So all of the information is on our Discord. Be sure to join our Discord if you're interested in racing. All players are welcome to participate until we fill up the 20 seats. So that's going to be happening. And I'm really, really excited to see what goes on there. And we are going to jump on over and raid Samus. But yeah, the March Madness each day, starting at 5 o'clock Central Standard Time. We're going to have 25% distance races back to back. And for the driver that participates in all 6 races and scores the most points, they will win $25 US, which is currently the prize pool. But of course, any donations and or subscriptions that can go towards that, we will try to beef up the prize pool. We want to try and start giving some of these drivers rewards for their efforts. Of course, these are long seasons that we drive here in the league, and it's nice to have something to sort of race towards. So that is one thing. Again, guys, thank you very, very much for watching. We are going to head on over and raid Samus now. Please congratulate him on his finish in P6. He had quite the amount of traffic to fight through. And that is going to round off round number 6 of the Misfits Racing League. Season 2, it was the Russian Grand Prix, and wow, what a Grand Prix it was. We had a lot of fun commentating that, and we will see you guys next week, Thursday, 5 o'clock Central Standard Time for Brazil. It's going to be the Brazilian Grand Prix next week, guys. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and we will see you this weekend for March Madness.